Welcome and hello there to A Commander in 10 Minutes. Today we're looking at my favorite Imperial commander, Moff Jerjerrod. First of all, we're gonna read through his ability. Then I'm gonna show you which ships he's best to use with, and which ships I wouldn't use him with. And last, I will show you what you would generally want to go through in list building. So first we're gonna start our timer, and let's go. So Moff Jerjerrod reads, during a friendly ship's determined course step, it may suffer 1 damage to change the first jaw value of its current speed to 2 until the end of its activation. Now what this means is you've got your little ISD here, which will be our subject to show you what you can do with it, and we're in the maneuver step, so we have the maneuver tool out, and let's say we're going speed 3. And as you can see on the card, normally I would have 0 clicks at the first joint. Now what Jerjerrod allows me to do is just say, okay, let's take a damage, for instance in the right hull zone, I will just take a damage, so now my shields drop to 2. And now I'm allowed to do up to 2 clicks, so if I wanted to turn right, normally I would do this. And now what I'm allowed to do is do this. As you can obviously see, this is a pretty big improvement over the normal maneuvering chart. And what this generally allows you to do is not do what I always tell people. You can actually not navigate. So for instance on an ISD2 what you could do is just give it squadron commands every round, that it command 4 squadrons, and then still be able to turn like an absolute mad lad at speed 3. This is also really helpful with other ships, as you can see the Raider here, let's see, shields. The Raider, whoopsie, that was the wrong button. The Raider has really phenomenal turning power at speed 2. Here you wouldn't use Jerry. But then, if you go up to speed 3, you can see that phenomenal turning power becomes really non-phenomenal at all. And at speed 4 it shows even more. So what I generally like to do is, like, if I have a Raider and Jerry, you can see that this gets and if you navigate on top of it, oh my god, this thing turns absolutely mad. Look at it. This is, oh, it's just glorious. Sorry, I can't even. The next really good ship for Jerry is the Architans. Now, the Architans has a really wonky kind of maneuvering chart if you look at it. And at speed 1, generally you don't need any Jerry because you can do the speed 2 anyway, the 2 click. Now on speed 2, the Architans turns really weird, so you would have this, and or like for instance, whoopsie, yep, let's undo that. You would have like this, like for the sake of demonstration, it turns weirdly, but with Jerry, it becomes phenomenal again. There we have it, the Raider turn. And if we go speed 3, this becomes even better. Because, like now, well, it's still the same turn, kind of, but you're speed 3 now. And if you navigate on top of it, oof, yeah, I just love it. And it's better than any navigate command would ever get you. You see, this is what you could do with a navigate command, this is what Jerry does for you, without a navigate command. Let's move him out of the way. Get to the next one. My favorite ship with Jerry, the Quasar. Because with Jerry, you can go really fast. Be like, well, yeah, I'm gonna go speed 3. Now I'm not maneuverable at all. Well, you simply Jerry and you're fine. And you can still squadron every turn. So if you have, like, for instance, boosted comms and expanded hangar bay, you're still commanding 5 squadrons every turn. And you're really maneuverable as well, because you generally have the same, or almost the same maneuvering chart as the ISD. Boom, there we go. Really great ship with Jerry. For instance as well, the Demolisher, the Demolisher, yeah, of course, you know, the Gladiator. Normally I'd always fly him with engine text, so you want to navigate each turn anyway, which would mean that you can do a kind of speed 4 maneuver, which has like 2 clicks at the end, because you do the engine text, and the engine text is a speed 1 maneuver. so you have 2 clicks at the end for that speed 1 maneuver, and then because you navigated you could do this turn anyway. But with Jerry you could do 2 at the first one and then still do 2 at the second one because you have the extra click from navigating. And this, I mean, just look at this turn. Like what you would do is, like, you see this comes from Jerry, this would come from the navigate, you would do this, and then you would also engine text, and oh my god, this thing, that's just, I can't even. Then the victory. The victory, in my opinion, doesn't really, like, I don't like it. I'm just gonna say it. I think the maneuvering chart is shit, and you shouldn't fly it without engine text and Harrow. So if you are flying Harrow, your speed 1s always get 2 clicks no matter what. But if you do engine text and do Jerry, this thing turns like an ace. Because then you can Jerry the first click, because you have a maneuvering command you can do the second click on 2 as well. And then because you did the maneuvering command and you have engine text, you can still do a speed 1 maneuver, and because you're Harrow you're allowed to do it at 2 clicks. So it turns really, really well as well. Then the one ship, in my opinion, like, I'd say the victory you also shouldn't fly without Jerry, but that's just my opinion. I know there's people flying them without Jerry. Now, the ship you really, really never should fly without Jerry, and like the really good builds for the Superstar Destroyer, I only see them with Jerry, because if you look at this maneuvering chart, my god, what is this maneuvering chart? Like, why would you even? Now, even the most glorious navigate command will always only give you this, which is still quite a turn, not gonna lie, the Superstar Destroyer is really wonky, but doing this, that's even better. And now hear me out, like in 1 or like 2 of the rounds you should also navigate, and then, oh my god, look at this. Look, it's like first, whoopsie, damn it, I'm misclicking, confirm. Look at this. First you go like this, and then just 1 movement later, there, look at it. Look how far it went. Like, what is this even? Like, it went from up here, just moved to fucking there. Look at it. Like, this is insane. Yeah, so that's why you should always use Jerry on the Superstar Destroyer. Now, ships Jerry doesn't work as well with. For example, the Interdictor, because the Interdictor A can only go not that fast, and B, he has like this turning capability anyway. So Jerry will only give you 1 more click, which a normal navigate command would give you as well. So Jerry isn't as effective here. And the same thing goes for the Onager, which has like, if you go to here and you look at it, it's like at speed 2 it has the same, like it generally has the same maneuvering chart as the Interdictor, only it can go speed 3, but in speed 3 the last click is like no yaw at all, and it will still only give you 1 yaw at the first one on top of your yaw anyway. So those two are generally not great. Now, what also not to do with Jerry lists. And this generally, if you put all these ship cards next to each other, you can see that the slower you go, the more clicks you have at your first jaw. So, pro tip, don't go slow, because the faster you go, the more Jerry gives you. For the ISD2, I would mostly go speed 3. For the Radar, speed 3 and 4. For the Architect, speed 2 and 3. For the Quasar, speed 3 as well. For the Gladiator, speed 3 as well. And for the Victory, definitely a speed 2. So as you can see, Jerry ships generally want to go rather fast. So you want to build a rather aggressive list, which is why most of the times you don't see an ISD2, you see a Kuat, and you see, for example, another Raider, or a Gladiator, or something like that, or a Victory. Because those ships really profit from going really fast, because then they can use their black dice, and they are still very, very maneuverable to Jerry. And the other archetype of list you see is some that want to maneuver still, because you always need to maneuver in some kind of way, because the normal maneuvering charts are just too predictable and too shitty. So you have like a Quasar and an ISD-2, which was what I tended to fly back in the day when I still wanted to make Imperial 2 ship really great. And yeah, I flew like 130 points of squads and just 2 loaded up carriers with Jerry, and it's a really nice list, not gonna lie. So, I hope you can take something away from this. These are my 10 minutes. I'm gonna stop right here. And if you like the content I post, just think about like maybe liking the video or leaving an abo. And as always, see you in the next one.